The pebble and the shoe. You ever notice how the smallest things in life, the ones you don't even see, can change everything? This story begins with something so tiny, most people would step right over it without thinking. A pebble. Round, gray, unremarkable. Except today, it decided to matter. It lay beside a dusty village road, warmed by the morning sun, listening to the world rush and shuffle around it. Wagons creaked, birds argued in the trees, and then, thud. A heavy boot landed just inches away. The pebble didn't mean to roll. Really, it didn't. But the boot shifted and gravity tugged, and suddenly the pebble slipped forward, right into the shoe of a man who was already running late. The man stumbled, his stride broke, his face twitched. At first, he ignored it. Just a tiny pinch, a small annoyance, nothing worth stopping for. But as he marched down the road, the pinch became a poke. The poke became a jab, and the jab became a sharp, grating grind that made every step feel like a tiny betrayal. He muttered. He groaned. He cursed the road, the shoe, the world, the universe. But he refused to stop. Important men didn't stop for pebbles, not when the town meeting wouldn't begin without him, not when his reputation mattered more than comfort. And so the irritation grew. With each step, the pebble tumbled deeper, digging into his heel, scraping his patience raw. Sweat gathered. Temper flared. His composure, so carefully maintained, began to fracture. Finally, after a particularly painful jolt, he snapped. He halted in the middle of the road, tore off his shoe, and shook it violently. The pebble tumbled onto the dirt, a tiny speck, utterly harmless, almost laughably small. The man glared at it with the fury of 1,000 storms, then kicked it aside and stomped away, muttering about stupid rocks and wasted time. But the pebble didn't land where he thought it would. It bounced, rolled, slid to a stop near the feet of a little girl carrying a cloth doll. She noticed it instantly. Children have a strange talent for seeing the beauty that adults overlook. Where the man saw an inconvenience, the girl saw a treasure. She bent down, picked up the pebble, turned it over in her palm. It had a soft speckle across one side and a shape almost like a tiny heart if the light hit it just right. "Wow," she whispered. She tucked it into her pocket and skipped down the road, humming. And for the first time in its simple, dusty existence, the pebble felt chosen. Later that day, she placed it carefully on her windowsill beside a row of other little wonders. A feather with a blue streak, a button shaped like a flower, a seashell with a smooth spiral. And there it sat, glowing softly in a beam of golden evening light. A pebble once cursed, now cherished. Once unwanted, now treasured. And maybe, just maybe, there's a lesson in that. That the small things we brush aside, the frustrations we grumble about, the irritations that slow us down, might be meaningful in ways we can't yet see. Sometimes what feels like an obstacle to one person is a miracle waiting for someone else to notice. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.